What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Every Week We Follow. Today's episode is all about Everton. It is the preview for this game that is coming up on Sunday, 4:30 p.m. kickoff at Villa Park. I've got Joe with me tonight, who is a fellow fanalist, and this is his second time appearance on the show. He was here at the start of the season. So welcome back, Joe. Hope you're well, mate. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you, mate?
Yeah, flying, mate. Absolutely fine. Football is life, right? As a wise Ted Lasso once said. And things are heating up, so to speak. Oh, he's frozen. Hopefully he's still there. Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
He's back. I can hear you.
Yeah. Don't know
there we go.
there.
Right. So we'll get into it very shortly. Just a quick couple of things to go through. One, if you're new here and you haven't, or please hit that follow button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the hype button. Go and check out the QR code down below there to win this football. All you've got to do is donate £5 to our Just Giving page, and you'll be entered into the draw for, and all the money is going to Acorn Children's Hospice. This draw was going to take place probably just before the end of the season, because we are hopefully planning a charity night where we're going to have lots of content creators involved. It's in early stages yet, but bear with us. There'll be more details to follow in the coming weeks. But it's exciting, so make sure you hit that QR code and donate a £5, and it all goes to Acorns. Like I say, it's as a bit of a backstory that my daughter uses Acorns. It's her last year there. She turns 18 in February. So we're trying to give a little bit back for all the support they've given us as a family and all that kind of jazz. So if you can, please donate. Right then, Joe. Let's get into it then, mate. So Everton, Villa, probably one of the most played Premier League fixtures ever, right? Until we got relegated and left for a few seasons and left you to it. You guys have been dicing with death the last few years, but seem to have kind of, I don't know, found a bit of form.
Steadied the ship a little bit.
Yeah, steadied the ship. So, in your own words, mate, just let us, because when we first spoke at the start of the season, obviously we were on a terrible and we hadn't scored a goal. We played out a pretty drub 0-0. Was it? Yeah, it was 0-0, wasn't it? I think Hill Dickinson. So. Nothing really to shout. We were just happy with a point, but we didn't score again. And since then, mate, we've kind of hit this rocket trajectory. And now there's a 14-point gap between us. So what's your thoughts on the season now it's gone so far, and what are your expectations now?
It's a really, really weird one, because the table's so tight that we're not having a bad season. It's just more so the disappointment of, so let's say you get that 3 points from maybe when we got beat like 4-1, I believe it was, against Newcastle, or 4-0, whatever it was. Yeah. Like if you win that day, you're in top 4. That's how tight the table is. I think there was, I don't know if it's the same now, there was like 8 points between 4th and like 15th or something. So it's not so much we're having a bad season. It just, I feel like we're just kind of getting on the club's back a little bit. Understandably, because I am a little bit myself, because you kind of just want to get that 3 points, and you're looking and you think, if we win this game, we're right there. Then you don't win, and it's just, do you know what I mean?
It's the psychology of it, right? Because like you're sitting 12th and with 29 points, but like you say, you're not going to want it, but you're only 6 points behind Liverpool in 4th. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean,
right? So
it's so tight.
It's crazy, and I'm going to annoy Liverpool fans now, mate. But if you could do that, please, I'd much prefer Everton there than Liverpool.
Wouldn't we all?
And our crazy run has only been hampered by them. And I think Liverpool are they've fallen off a cliff this year for whatever reason. There's numerous reasons, but that's how tight it is. And people have said to me in recent weeks, mate, the Premier League it's not as competitive as it used to be. And I'm like, is this because the big six aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing?
It's just the most competitive season I think there's been in a long time. I mean, last season weren't really competitive, I'd say. I feel like a lot of teams or it was either Liverpool just done extremely well, or other teams dropped off. I mean, we know Man City dropped off a little bit, which are kind of Liverpool's main contenders last season. Yeah. But last season you had Bournemouth up there, you had Forest up there. So those teams are getting better, and I feel like now the level of football in the Premier League is getting better in terms of, as you say, outside the big six are starting to actually compete. I mean, Palace won the FA Cup. Do you know what I mean? Newcastle have now won a trophy. Things are getting a bit closer, and as we say, if you look at the table this season, There's very little. I mean, two game weeks and the table's flipped on its head.
Absolutely.
So
And surely, right, it's great for the league that the likes of, Sunderland, for instance, Brentford, who are, not, are doing it on shoestring budgets, shouldn't really be where they are, but are competing. And that's what you want for me. Like, if it's just the same old big six every year, then like it gets a bit frustrating. And if I'm honest, with the way that, as a Villa fan, feeling this PSR, SCR nonsense, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because it infuriates me. But basically, you kind of, clubs like us, yourself, who clearly have got financial backing, want to do things, want to be competitive, want to kind of do that. We've just had it this week with Conor Gallagher's saga. I mean, I've bled about this to death, but basically, fact of the matter is, we can't afford to pay over the odds for players. So, we try and have to do little deals, and then Spurs can just come along and go, well, actually, we'll pay 15 million quid over the odds and get the player, that's just is infuriating because, for us, we've, competed well in the last 3 or 4 seasons. We're on the verge of potentially qualifying for the Champions League again, which would be twice in 3 seasons. And it feels like we're being punished for getting European football because the more successful we've been, the less money we can spend. Now, obviously, if we do get Champions League next season, I think our club will take a massive gamble. I think they will start spending money. I think it'll be a case of, well, we're going to just try and stay there. I think it will be a risk, obviously. We've got to keep our owners. We've got to keep our manager. And if we can do that, then you never know. But surely we've got to set the mould for teams like Villa, for Everton, Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, these teams that are doing things right, being extremely well coached, like kind of running their clubs to the best of their ability, and end up being punished because they haven't got the global pull of the big six. It's a bit nonsensical if you ask me. But I digress. There you go.
I mean, you're singing to the choir about FFP, mate. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Everton have had the problems with financial fair play over the past few years, and I think where you're talking about the likes of Sunderland, for example. I mean, I'm friends with a Sunderland fan who's in analysis myself, and I was talking to him the other day after we played them in the FA Cup, and one of the things I said about them is the recruitment model. I mean, look, they've come in and they've signed the right players. And that's why they've had such a good season. And as you say, they took a gamble. I mean, a lot of teams do come up and kind of sign a lot of players, but it's always been that yo-yo of the teams who come up will go down. And even Leeds may stay up this season. And I think that is better for the league. But Sunderland, I'm really happy for them. It's the recruitment. And I think that's where Everton have struggled the past years. I mean, our financial fair play problem started years ago. Once again, it's a rabbit hole that I don't want to go into because you know what I mean. But it's recruitment, and recruitment's massive, and it's not just about spending big money. And like you say, if there is 2 clubs interested in a player, where you said about Conor Gallagher, they do have the means to just be able to. Well, you know what? They can't afford that 40 million. We can. They can pay 30. We'll just give them 40. That 10 million's nothing to us. And it's kind of the same with losing players as well. I mean, I made up last season we didn't give in to United over Brandwaite. We normally we just sell for whatever. We kept our valuation of them and didn't give in. And I feel like that's what clubs need to do to kind of hang about and stay there and continue to grow. You need to keep hold of your best players, as you said. If you get in Champions League, you can't let them go. You need to keep hold of them. It's the likes of Njai. If we let Njai go in the summer, with its big problems, because then you've got to replace them. And I genuinely don't have one bit of belief that we'd be able to replace that man. Do you know what I mean? So it's a
I couldn't. I agree, mate, completely. Like you say, You need your best players to stay so you can start building something, right? It's as simple as if you're doing that, you're always playing catch up, and then you're kind of never quite there, and you're just surviving rather than trying to compete, and that bugs me. But it is what it is. I can't complain too much. Like as a Villa fan, obviously this season's been magnificent. After the start we had, after we played you, obviously way back at the start of the season, I think I said to you back then that I was genuinely concerned because it looked like our players had down tools, and there was lots of disgruntlement in the dressing room, and there was people potentially leaving. Like Emi Martinez was going to Man United, Ollie Watkins was going to Arsenal. Like Jacob Ramsey went to Newcastle. That kind of seemed to upset everybody because we then got Jadon Sancho in, and you guys got Grealish, and we were gutted that we didn't get him, because it's like, why are we spending 180k a week on Jadon Sancho, but we're not going to push the boat out for a guy who's a Villa fan? And I know not probably Everton fans don't want to hear this, but he did a documentary for John McGinn. It was on all the Villa network and stuff. Mate, you can see he just loves the Villa. Like, he was there when he was 6 years old. Do you know what I mean? He's obviously got a passion for the club, and I kind of, part of me feels if we could have afforded to pay the money, we would have got him. We would have got him, right? And now I look at our problems where we need depth, and he would have fit in brilliantly. And you just think, under Unai's coaching, could he have been an even better player than he was the first time with us? It's interesting. I was talking to a Villa mate of mine today, and we were talking about this, where big signings leave clubs. For Villa, we've had some top players over the years that have gone to, bigger clubs, like Dwight York to Man United, and Grealish to Man City, Gareth Barry to Man City, James Milner to Man City. All left and went to win and won trophies and were successful, but never really hit the same heights that they did when they got to that point. We got them to that point.
In terms of personal performance.
Yeah, in terms of personal performance. So they were part of good teams and went on to win lots of trophies. But from a personal perspective and their personal performance, they were never the same player or the quality that they've shown at Villa. And that's been the same with lots of players that have left whatever teams and stuff. And you go, oh, wow, imagine where they could have been if maybe they'd stayed and, actually, developed under what we've got now. Because we've never been this, I don't know, comfortable with a coaching team and a structure of ownership that is completely dominated by the manager. As the say so, is who basically everyone respects. In the world of football, and what he's doing is nothing short of sensational. Like I genuinely, like I said, when we at the start of the season, when I thought we were down in tools, what he's done to turn it around is interesting, because that book behind me, Rise of the Villains, is written by Guillaume Balakai. It's a Spanish football journalist. He's really good friends with Unai Emery. He spent basically 12, 18 months with him writing that book from when he took over to basically up to the PSG game last season. So it goes really in depth into what the club have offered Unai Emery, and basically said, look, here's a blank piece of paper. Turn it into the club that you want to see. So when all the rumours come out that he's going to go to Man United, or he's going to go here, genuinely, I'd implore anyone to read that book, because I just don't see it happening with what the control he's got at Villa. No Premier League club is going to give him that. No, in fact, I don't think any club in world football is going to give him that. So even if there might be something in Spain that he could be tempted with. He could end up going back towards maybe the Spanish national job or Barcelona. That could be the job that could take him away. But even if he went to them, he's not going to get that kind of control that he has with us. He's literally got responsibility of everything. And I think the problems we had at the start of the season was in and around this Monchi, director of football. I'm not saying it was purely him, but when we signed Sancho and we signed Harvey Elliott, and it just hasn't worked out. It's almost like Monchi went behind Emery's back to organise these transfers, and Emery's just gone, nah, don't want, because he's gone, and then these players are barely getting minutes. Like, obviously Elliott's kind of, I don't know what, I feel sorry for him in a way, because he's a quality player that's just in oblivion. And then Sancho's been a big part player all season. So it's now just looking at the depth of our squad, and have we got enough to go again and do the second half of the season what we've just done in the first half? Because if we can, then, mate, we are in a title race. If you look at the table doesn't lie, and there's, I think, a 7 or 8 point gap between 8 points between us and Liverpool. Now, I think we've got to be looking up and going, third place should be our target now. We're 8 points ahead. Right? That means we've got to lose 3 games, and the teams below us have got to win 3 games, 4 games to leapfrog us. And we've got some winnable fixtures. But, as January approaches in, we've missed out on Conor Gallagher. Daniel Malen seems to have gone to Roma. So we are suddenly thin on the ground. But I've had many discussions in the last 2 days about keeping cool. And in Emery we trust, and hopefully a couple of players will be coming in January. But again, we can't splash the cash, even though we've got it. We've got to watch what we're doing. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
I have seen this. I mean, you'd be more in the know than me. I'm not sure how reliable it was, but something about linking you lot with Tammy Abraham.
Yes. So
is that correct?
Well, that is correct. We've been linked, mate. But from what I've read on that, right, the transfer is so complicated because he's on loan from Roma at Besiktas, and they've got an obligation to buy. So we'd have him. So similar to the Harvey situation, like Roma have gone, well, he's not our player. He's on loan at Besiktas, so you've got to deal with them. But then
you'd have to loan him from them to you till the end of the season to go back to them so they can pay. What?
Yeah. It's just mad. Yeah. And we've got players, like obviously Daniel Malen's gone to Roma. I don't know if that's kind of going to sweeten the deal. They've got Leon Bailey on loan at the moment as well. So these are we're obviously keen on doing business. So I just think it's probably going to go right down to the wire with the Tammy one because there's lots of I's and T's to dots and cross and whatnot. So we'll see what happens.
I seen that. Obviously, he's a Everton archetype of a striker. He's a big, tall number 9. What it was, I seen that he preferred Hughes over Everton. And to be honest, I wouldn't really want him at Everton. To be honest, we're linked with a striker from the Turkish league ourselves. Now we're alone. We're an option to buy, but I don't know. I haven't kept up with Abraham's performances. We were linked with him a little while ago as well, but I feel like we just keep getting kind of copy and paste of strikers, and it doesn't work. And to be honest, it hasn't really worked since Lukaku, when we have a big, strong number 9. That was the last number 9 we had, who was in and out goal scorer. And to be honest, mate, you don't find strikers like them about often anymore. You don't get strikers like him at us.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Because like the only reason why the Villa fan base are totally 50-50 on this, because a lot of people are saying, we shouldn't go back to what we've had. We need to move forward. He's 28. He's playing in Turkey. He's only scored, I think, 30 goals in 5 seasons. Like, it's not a massive return. But part of me is like, well, yeah, he got us back to the Premier League. We had him on loan from Chelsea. He went back to Chelsea, had a really good season at Chelsea. Then obviously got moved on to AC Milan and went to play abroad, whatever, because Chelsea's just a shit show of millions of players, right? Yeah. And I just think that under Unai Emery, I think he fits it. He fits the MO. We know that he works hard. We know what he's capable of doing, and I think it's kind of not a replacement for Ollie Watkins. I think it's kind of someone to challenge him, and actually he'll probably be happy with playing kind of second fiddle. Whereas I don't think Daniel Malen has been. We signed him a year ago. He's left out the Champions League squad last season. He didn't get into the team when we thought he should, and actually showed real professionalism in the way he's handled all that, and performed on the pitch. Scored 8 goals in I can't remember how many games it is, but his goals to minutes ratio is pretty good for the minutes that he's played. And it's a World Cup year, and he's a Holland international who has been selected for the squad. So he's probably knocking on Emery's door, going, "Look, I need to be playing. So if you're not going to do it, I imagine that this transfer has kind of been pushed through by the players as much as the club have been. He's on 140k a week. My only question around the transfer thing of that is that there was a brilliant article in The Athletic that went on to talk about how Unai Emery basically scouted Malen for 3 years. So it's a bit odd to scout a player for 3 years, not buying because we had PSR issues, because whatever it was, and then you get your man, and then 12 months later you're moving him on without really giving him the opportunity to shine. It's a bit odd. So the jury's out on that one.
It could be what you said before, maybe. Well, then again, no, you said he scouted him for 3 years. I mean, with us, I think it's strange. I mean, we just bought Diblin for 40 million, and the only reason he's getting a look in is because we have no other player that can possibly play that position. Before Njai went to AFCON, McNeil was coming on off the bench over Diblin, over the £40 million signing. Yeah. So you look at it and you think, okay, the guy's young, whatever, but I mean, it's not like he hasn't played first team football for Southampton. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked very, very, very good at Southampton. So I see little sparks of it, but I mean, I put it down to not having many minutes, to be honest, why he isn't
So,
performing great at the minute.
so Joe, like, it is the transfer window. Have Everton got any? Do you think anyone's going to come in? And if so, where would you strengthen?
So we're linked with Yusuf En-Nesyri. I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
Former Seville striker. He's at Fenerbahce now. That's a loan with an option to buy for 20 million, I think.
Yeah.
But once again, he's another tall, big striker. Granted, he has done quite well. He has got a few goals, but I think it was, I can't remember the exact stat, to be honest, but it's the same thing. A lot of the fans are saying, I mean, you look at Barry, he done well in the Spanish league, as did En-Nesyri. And it's funny, there was a video on TikTok, and out of 5 players that are compared to En-Nesyri that he's most similar to, number 1 is Beto, and I think number 3 was Barry. So you are literally, when I say you're getting copy and paste, we are getting copy and pastes of strikers. And it's like, do you know what I mean? Like literally, it was like a similar player type list of something on a website. I seen it was a TikTok video, it's been going around. And you're like, you've got Barry and Beto there, who I genuinely don't think, like, I don't know if you've seen the penalties against Sunderland or just their performances in general, but they are just... do you know what I mean? Where it's not been a great watch. I mean, and just to think, if he comes in and we have to add a 3rd striker onto that list who is just not what we need and cannot put the ball in the net, it's genuine. I'm going to start pulling my hair out, because it's hard enough watching Barry and Beto like come on and off the bench for each other. It's different starting every week, and they're both, honest to God, carbon copies of each other. It's just
this is why I'm not 100% happy with them letting Malen go, because if we get Tammy Abraham, for instance, right, it is that will be like for like with Ollie Watkins. So it doesn't change the way you play, it doesn't change the style of the system, which I think Emery wants. But Malen offered something different, and it worked. Like I say, he would disgruntle teams, and he would, it would change the way we played slightly. We could go 2 up top, and so we've just weakened the bow a little bit. Now, obviously, we've got 2 weeks left the transfer window, and my favourite saying in the last couple of days is, "In Unai we trust." Right, that he's gonna do something, and just like he did last January, we brought in Marcus Rashford and Asensio. Nobody saw that coming. It was very quiet until it happened. So it may well go to the wire, and if we can do that, then I'll be happy. But honestly, you considering we are where we are in the league, 3rd, and could be pushing them, Arsenal and Man City, all the way if we can get a couple of reinforcements, because we are going to need them. We've got a couple of injuries and whatnot. So look, it's all ifs buts and maybes. I'm not a fan of the transfer window because I hate the speculation of it. I hate all the rumours that come up, and it drives me nuts, because even when you've got Fabrizio Romano saying things like he confirmed Conor Gallagher was coming to us. 2 minutes later, he's going to Spurs.
That man, right, is never right with Everton. I think every transfer window, honest to God, every transfer window, we've had a here we go. That hasn't happened. I promise you now, it happens every window. And I used to always say, if Romano says it, it's true. If Romano says it, I think the complete opposite about Everton. Now, if he says we've signed someone, we haven't signed them. That's what I think. No.
For me, mate, until I see them holding the shirt up in the air, signing the paper, it ain't happening.
On official socials, then I believe it. I want to see the signature on the contract as well, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
No one I looked, he'd get to sign in the contract and walk out the door and join someone else.
I'll have to answer it. Right, mate, we're going to break up a little bit, right? We're going to go into the hat-trick quiz, right, which we do with all opposing fans, mate. It's a little bit of fun. Basically, it's 4 questions for a chance to get your hat trick. We have the tap-in, which is question 1, which is the easy question. We've got the curler from the edge of the box, which is the medium question. Then we've got the thunderbolt, which is question 3, which is a 30-yard screamer. And then we have the VAR bonus question. And hopefully, you'll score a hat trick. Right, so that's what we'll do. Now, again, it's just a little bit of fun, mate. Nothing kind of taxing. So we're going to start you off nice and easy, right? Hopefully, anyway.
It's probably not easy. My football memory is horrendous. by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna take you back, mate, because
Right.
obviously the fixture on Sunday is at Villa Park. Right, you haven't won at Villa Park since January 2016, so this is about that game. You beat us 3-1, right?
Yeah.
And the question is, who scored your third goal? Now,
Third goal.
the third goal, right? I can give you multiple choice answers, right, to make it nice and a little bit easier, right? So
Go
it's
ahead.
either Romelu Lukaku, Kone, Kevin Morales, or Ross Barkley.
I want to say Lukaku, but I feel like that's not it. Lukaku.
I'm just thirsty, mate.
No, do you know what? I knew Lukaku, funnily enough, right? I was talking about Lukaku today. I was going to say Lukaku because I knew he was our striker then. But when you said Kevin Morales, I thought, I love Kevin Morales, by the way, a little bit off topic.
Great player.
But great player. We'll go Lukaku.
Yes, mate. There you go. Simple tapping, mate. Don't know how you got that. That was brilliant football runs, mate. Bravo.
Yeah, I know.
Bravo.
Maybe I'm not as bad as I say.
Mate, you're not as bad as you said you are. Right, okay. So this is for the edge of the box, mate. You can see the top corner. You're just going to bend it in from 18 yards. Right, this one is slightly Villa related. So it depends. At Villa Park again. In August 2023, a couple of years ago, we beat you 4-0 at Villa Park. I think it was our first home game of the season. Might have even been the opening game of the season. Who scored our opening goal?
4-0. I think I was actually there for that in 23.
Yeah, 23.
First game of the season.
First game of the season.
I was there for that.
Yeah. So it was either Ollie Watkins, Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, or Moussa Diaby.
Was it Diaby?
Oh,
no.
It's close. No, it was John McGinn.
Did he score in that game? Or was that a different game? I'm sure. Oh, no, he came on. No, I've got it wrong. He came on off the bench against us in a different game, I'm pretty sure, and got a brace.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm sure. That's. Oh, my God, I've got it wrong.
It was actually John McGinn, mate. He scored the first goal of the champion of our Premier League era there in that one. It was, to be fair, mate, it was one of those where I wasn't expecting it. I don't know why, because I always thought we didn't do very well against you at goals at home. But looking back on it, actually, like I couldn't believe that. I thought, wow, actually at home we do all right.
Mate, our away form has been terrible the last few years. This season, our away form's been good. Our home form's been terrible. But first game of the season, we always have a howler. So I didn't go this season to the first away game, but I've been to Ellen Road for Leeds, get beat there. That's a difficult place to go anyway. And I've been Villa Park for first game of the season, got beat there as well. Oh, we always get beat first game of the season. Terrible.
Right, don't fear, mate. You've still got a chance to get a hat-trick. Right, the next question, right, is basically a picture question. It's got 4 club logos, right? I want you to tell me which player this is, right? He's played for both Villa and Everton, and they're in the order of the clubs he's played for, right? So
okay.
I'm going to put them up on screen. Here we go. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Name the player. So he played for Villa first, then he went to Man City, then he played for you guys, then he finished his career at West Bromwich Albion.
West Brom. Dude, can I have... this is last 10 years, isn't it? We said, was it? Last 10 years. Villa, City, then here.
I think it might be it might be about 12 years. I'm just trying to think when did he go? Yeah, it might be about 15 years ago.
Right, okay.
Hey, anyway,
ask for a hint.
Go on.
When about was it that he played for Everton?
That's a good question.
West Brom.
I've got to say, I want to say probably 2000, like late noughties, early 10s for Everton. I would have thought.
Jesus Christ!
But I'll give you some multiple choices. Right, it's either Fabian Delph, Gareth Barry, or Ross Barkley.
Gotta be Barry.
Yes,
mate. No, yeah. So that was early teen. Yeah, but then again, he was probably at us about 2013, weren't he? 2012, Barry.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That long ago?
That long ago, mate. I know.
Oh my days.
But he was one of the players where, you know, like for me, obviously, he was captain at Villa. He was brilliant. And when he left and went to Man City, yes, he was massively successful at Man City, like he was. But again, and I stand by this, watching him week in, week out as a Villa fan. Similar with Grealish at Man City, like you go, he's not doing the same things he did at Villa with the same kind of domination that he did at Villa, where, you know, which got him into the England setup originally. Obviously, he had a fabulous career, and I'm sure if you ever spoke to him, he'd probably say, "Oh no, Man City, there was the glory years, it was great, and all that kind of stuff." But I just felt like, you know, he was one of them that was, like, I don't want to say world class. That's probably too thing, but he was up there with one of the best midfielders in the country when he played for the Villa, and then when he went to Man City. He
done the basics very well. I think he done the I mean, for us, he was great for us. A lot of people liked him. He was brilliant, really, really good. He's just that cool head in the middle.
Yeah,
cool head in the middle. I didn't know he went to West Brom. Like, didn't know he went to West Brom. That threw me off.
One of the best holding midfielders, actually. There was Lee Hendry just recently, a couple of months ago, did like a Villa best 11 on the Villa website, and he put. I didn't know this because, as far as I'm concerned, he was a kind of holding defensive midfield, Gareth Barry, but he was actually a left-sided centre back, and that was his stronger position apparently, and that's where he started off. But obviously got moved into midfield. But like you say, that calm head, I haven't seen many players like him. The only one that comes to mind from a Villa perspective recently is probably Yuri Tillemans, who has the same sort of composure on the ball and just kind of moves the ball
good.
Through the lines quickly and gets you further up the field. Okay, mate, so this is the big one. This is the bonus question. This is the VAR question, right? This is for your hat-trick, right? We talked about that 2016 game, mate. That was the last time you won at Villa Park, right? Who was your manager?
2016.
Right, I'll give you... Let me know if you can either try it or I can give you the multiple choice. It's up to you.
Was it? Give me the multiple choice. I think I know who it was, but just give me the multiple choice just in case.
So it was either Marco Silva, Ronald Koeman, or Roberto Martinez, or Carlo Ancelotti.
Right, I'm going to go with Koeman.
No! It was Roberto Martinez.
No! Right, I'm so frustrated at that because I knew it was right? I was, oh my God. Do you know when I said today I was talking about Lukaku?
Yeah.
I was literally looking back at the seasons when we were doing really well with Lukaku up top.
Yeah.
But I thought 2016 Martinez was gone by then.
No,
I thought he went in 15. So Koeman must have been 2017 then, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, or 2017 or 8. Oh my days, that's so frustrating.
So, mate, you didn't score the hat trick, but you did get a brace, which is never a bad thing, mate. You know, 2 goals is better than 1 and all that. But fair play. Anyway, that takes us on to our wonderful predictions. Right, so we're going to start off with the lineups, mate, and we'll go into yours first, if you want to. Right.
Yep.
So obviously you said it picks itself. So just talk us through it, mate. What have we got to? What's the threat we got to look out for?
There's not much of a threat, to be honest with you, mate. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, like.
Mate.
To be completely honest with you. Like, so. Right. The thing is, I mean, Garner has a killer pass on him. Garner's been really, really good this season, and he did have a great ball against into Barry against Forest. It was, and he does have the potential there. Grealish, right, has not actually been right. He's frustrating a lot of Everton fans because it almost feels like he's doing too much. So he'll beat a man, and he kind of tries to take that man on again.
Yeah.
And instead of kind of taking the man on while their team's out of position, we might be on a counter-attack, something like that. Instead of kind of taking advantage of that, he's slowing play down and letting everyone get back into position, and then the attack's kind of gone.
Yeah.
With an attack like ours, as you can see there, that is already not the greatest. You kind of need every advantage you can get. So if you're on a counter attack and a few of the Villa's men are left behind, then you might be able to get that chance, whereas you let everyone get back to position and the chance is gone. Without Njai and Dewsbury Hall, there's genuinely not much of a threat.
So what's
Barry's
happened
not
to Dewsbury
like,
Hall? Is he out injured?
Injured. Njai's at AFCON.
Yeah.
And both of our number 9s are useless. So Grealish hasn't been a goal scorer. Do you know what I mean? Even if he could put the ball in, I wouldn't be confident that he could score.
Yeah.
We scored against Sunderland with a penalty. Do you know what I mean? In the FA Cup. So it's and that was with this team, bar Grealish, because Grealish was suspended. But the fullbacks can't cross a ball.
Well,
so it's genuinely just I'm at a loss for how we said this before they went to AFCON. We're at a loss for how we're actually going to get goals. Dewsbury Hall was going to be our outlet. Dewsbury Hall got injured. We've recalled Armstrong. We've got Alcaraz injured. It's a nightmare. That is literally the team that we have fit.
Well, I've got to admit, mate, when you sent that to me, I was like, wow, this is a considerably weaker side than what we played at the start of the season. You know, your biggest threats are absolutely missing, obviously, with Ndiaye and Dewsbury Hall. Grealish can always be a threat on his day, mate. He is a quality player. I know. I agree with everything you've just said about him. I think he's picked up some really bad habits from Pep Guardiola in terms of keeping possession of the football, where when he was with us, he was much more free and attacking and flowing and would run with 70 yards with the ball and create something. And now under his tutelage of Pep, he's kind of, I'm here, I need to cut back and keep possession. And you're like, Jack, no, you're good enough to beat players and should score more goals, by the way. That was his downfall for me at the Villa.
So it's kind of like you'll be there, and when I'm in the game and I'm there, all you seem to hear everyone saying is just hit it.
Yeah.
Or cross it, do something instead of just standing on the ball and essentially trying to win a foul. That's the plan. And some people might think differently about Grealish and whatever, because at the end of the day, he is a superstar. Do you know what I mean? He's won everything there is to win, and he's sitting there playing at our stadium and wearing that kit. Do you know what I mean? It's been a while since we've had a player of his caliber. Do you know what I mean? So to sit there and kind of slag him off, I'm not slagging him off. It's just more so he could be doing things better. Because
mate, it's not slagging him off to say that you want a bit of end product from him. That's it. Like,
that's it.
You're right. He's a superstar, so you've bought him because he's the player that should be changing games for you. That's what he did at the Villa. Like, we relied on him so massively when we were coming up, and getting back to it, that everything went for him. And if that's what you've got to do, that's what you do. Because if I was David Moyes, I'd be saying to him, you're my main man. Like, make things happen. Go and create goals. Go and score goals. Go, play with freedom. But so I kind of watching him play. Like, I thought he was in the early games for you guys. He looked a real threat, but like I said, I just think he's picked up too many, not bad habits from Pep Guardiola, but the way that Man City played and isolated him on that left-hand side, it's almost like a lack of confidence. Do you know what I mean? That it's kind of, I'm just going to keep possession of the football. And you go, mate, I'd rather you risk losing it and create something. That's where you sit with that, right? And
it almost feels like Grealish, NJ is everything Grealish should be.
Yeah.
For us. You should have another NJ on that wing. It feels like with Grealish. That's what we all thought coming in. We thought, wow, we've got two absolute just maestros out on the wing. But no, it's like kind of Grealish, he is dangerous and he can beat a man, he can do that. But the end product from, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was expecting kind of more maybe goals and assists out of him this season. I mean, the goals that he has scored have been very just scrappy, like 6-yard box type deal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not being like, I mean, a goal's a goal at the end of the day. I mean, I think he scored 2 goals, I think, and maybe 5 assists. I think. And at the end of the day, I mean, like I say, we have got Tierno, Barry up front, or Beto, so at that time it can be hard to kind of get assists. But I don't know if he's got Mikalenko behind him, which he's struggling. Kind of, he hasn't got that technical, good attacking fullback behind him who's kind of overlapping him and giving the option for Grealish to cut in and you have Mikalenko out on the wing, because Mikalenko is just not good enough to do that. So I don't know if that has kind of some part to play in it, but it's like, to be honest, without Njai, the team falls to bits attacking wise. I mean, even without Njai and Dewsbury, it's just a nightmare.
Well, so and that at this, I think we said in the last last time you were on. That front three is scary. Dewsbury Hall was quality at the time, and Dewsbury Hall has been probably one of your best players with Ndiaye, and suddenly you've lost that pace and that creativity in the middle, haven't you? And like, you know, I like seeing that. It fills me with confidence, mate. So I'm going to move on to the Villa lineup. Now we are obviously. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because we're in a fantastic position, right? But this is kind of bare bones, mate. We've got injuries. We have got injuries, particularly in the middle of the park. You know, we've got no. Kamara went off injured against Spurs last weekend after the dirty foul Polina. Honestly, he should. How he never got sent off, I don't know. But you know, he injured him. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. We've got no, obviously, Amadou Onana, who we got a few guys who was, you know, mate, if he could stay fit, he's such a quality player, but he plays 3 or 4 games and then it's on the bloody physio table for the next 6 weeks. So we've got Lamar Bogard who fills in for that. And don't get me wrong, look, Lamar Bogard is an academy player that's come up through the ranks, and he's done very well to get into Unai Emery's plans, because Unai historically doesn't play our youthful players, which worries me because we've just signed 2. Like, we've signed this Brazilian Alisson, and we've got this young 17-year-old Brian Maggio, who looks about 35, mate. He looks like Romelu Lukaku did when he played for the under-15s for Anderlecht. Do you know what I mean? I've seen pictures of him. I'm like, there's no way he's 17. I want a birth certificate and DNA and blood. Like, there's no way, mate. He's huge, absolute monster. But I've no idea if these players are going to feature, whether they're going to be anywhere near the bench. Maybe Alisson might be. It would be nice to see him get some minutes down that right side. This, for me, the back four kind of picks itself. Digne could play in that left back position, but I prefer Matson for the pace. Pau Torres is back. He played against Spurs last week, so that's a good thing. Konza and Cash. The back four is excellent, mate, if I'm honest. I think Martinez should be okay as well. He's carrying a slight calf injury. Missed the game against Spurs, but I think he might be okay. But if not, that'll be Marco Bizzotti in goal, which is nothing to think. And then it's this attacking thing. Obviously, we've just got rid of Malen and we've got Sancho on the bench that's covering. But I think he'll start with this because Buendia was excellent last weekend. I thought he probably had his best game in a Villa shirt, and he's had some good games this season. But he worked his nuts off. And then you've got Rodgers and Watkins. Now, obviously, mate, they're frightening at the moment. The confidence is there. What I will say about the Villa, they are, since we beat Arsenal at home, it was the first time I thought, we're going to do something special this year. There's a togetherness in this squad that I haven't seen in the 40 years that I've supported Villa. Like, probably that people will say, like, when we won the European Cup back in '82, but I was 3, so I don't remember it at all. But when we scored that last-minute winner, not only like the euphoria of the fans, but I watched the players celebrate and I watched the coaching staff celebrate, and I just thought, yeah, they're all together, man. Like, and it was the same after the Spurs game. It was different. Like, it kicked off at the end because, you know, Paluni went for Watkins, but like, I watched Rodgers sprint across and want to tear his head off. Sort of Sancho steaming in for it. Like, there was just this kind of all-round togetherness that, like I say, I haven't seen. And I think there's a bit of belief kind of starting to creep into this team. And although we are thin, if we can keep this team fit, I think we'll be all right. Like I say, the only weak point here is Bogard. And if you could potentially get hold of the midfield, Armstrong could kind of maybe penetrate, and Diblin. You mentioned Diblin, and like, I always liked him at Southampton, mate. He reminded me of Jack Grealish, if I'm honest, but like in the way that he moved the ball and the way that he played. You know, he's still a young lad learning his trade. So like, I think there is a player there, you know, and there's no easy games in the Premier League. So I'm not taking this for granted, like, at all. But we're at home. We've lost 2 games in 2 years, mate. Like, it's a fortress to come and try and win, you know?
See, that's the only thing that is kind of, if we were playing at Bramley Moor, I'd say we have 100% 0 points from the game if we were playing at home.
Yeah. Because
we're away, I mean, our away form's being good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the only thing that I may thinking, do you know what, I might come out and get surprised.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, to be honest, I feel like your team is just going to be too strong. I feel like maybe start of the game, it might be a little bit more even. but I do feel like yous are gonna kind of just take a hold of the game. And
Well, look, I mean, it all depends on how you approach the game, Matt. And I say this to every opposing fan because you've got one of two ways playing against us. You either come at us and try and pressurise us all up the field, which, if I'm honest, is your best form because we've got a mistake in us. Right?
yeah,
It's how we lost the Liverpool game. If you go through all of the games, teams that play a high press against us get a bit of joy. Right? Now we are good at playing out from the back, and we can play around you. So if we do it well enough, we'll hit you there. If you just try and soak up the pressure and it's on the counter attack, that's the other way you can play. Because the other thing that we don't do at times is we don't move the ball quick enough. But I think we're getting better at that. So Nottingham Forest tried to do it against us, and we were just too good. He laid us all the time on the ball, and we moved the ball in the end really quickly. And once we scored the first goal, it was like there was only ever going to be one winner, really. And so I'm really going to be fascinated to see how you guys approach the game in the first kind of 15, 20 minutes. And whether David Moyes is going to go gung-go and go, no, go at it, or literally sit back and park the bus. What do you think will happen?
I don't think we'll sit back and park the bus because, I mean, we to be honest, we haven't really done that all season. We do try and play our own way of football. But the issue is, once again, is the final third to where we have no ideas in the final third. So the decision making is just poor. It's like the final third now without obviously the dangerous three that we've spoken about. There's not much cohesion there. So kind of silly passes get made. It was like that against Sunderland. Silly passes giving the ball away, and just things like that. And attacks breaking down really easily to where obviously use then pick the ball up and carry it. And Tarkowski for me at the back he's been a bit dodgy this season. Patterson hasn't played barely for 3 years. He's now our fullback. Michalenko, I question how he's a footballer at times. So it's it's just I'm looking and I'm just thinking Jake O'Brien at centre back's been good. Fullback he's not it for me, but he's playing fullback centre back due to Keane being out suspended with the hair pull. Crazy decision for me, but once again, another thing.
That's it. You're missing key players, aren't you? So like,
the squad is bare, thin. We've got two keepers on the bench and about 521 players. Do you know what I mean? And we'll have we'll have Beto on the bench, and that's our only other first team player on the bench, I think.
Like Bar Sancho on the bench to come on from McGinn. We will have a lot of I think it'll be youth players for us as well. Because like I say.
Your first team looks strong. Your first team still looks strong. So, you've obviously got Watkins, Rodgers. You've still got kind of your main outlet. We've just completely lost ours. Ours is gone. So our injuries have almost just come at the worst time possible. You've got Njaya Afcon. You've got Idrissa Gana Gueye from the midfield. He's not an outlet, but he doesn't half get round that midfield. And then you've got Dewsbury all out injured. Do you know what I mean? Just as Njai goes, and it just kind of everything just fell on this December and January period where it's the toughest period to play of the season.
Absolutely.
All the games are very congested, but
let's look at the form guide then, mate, because obviously Villa have I think we've lost 1 in 6, which was the game we lost to Arsenal away at just after Christmas. We drew against Palace, but we've like I say, what fills me with confidence is that we're showing resilience. Like I think Villa teams of old, after being spanked by Arsenal 4-1, maybe our season would have started to unravel. But the fact that we've kind of come back and beat Nottingham Forest, we went away and drew at Palace, which we probably should have won the game, if I'm honest, on the balance of play. But a point is a point away from home, especially when we can't beat Crystal Palace. They've been our bogey side. And then obviously we beat Spurs in the FA Cup. And I wasn't expecting that level of performance. I thought we were brilliant in the first half. They had 10 minutes the second half where they got a goal back. But then we showed resilience then to kind of really just nullify them and just see the game out, which I thought was really professional. So there's lots of positives for the Villa. For you guys, like I say, it's what is it? One winning.
Our last 3, I think we've lost. Is it? Last 3?
It's 1 win in 6, mate. So it's kind of that was that away trip to Forest, which I watched, mate, by the way, and I thought you were excellent in that game and thoroughly deserved the 2-0 victory.
And this is the frustrating thing: we win that game 2-0, and then the game after he changes the squad. by
Yeah.
the first team. He changes it so it's just constant like fixing something that does well, and it doesn't need fixing. Do you know what I mean? But as I say, there's not much we can do at the minute. We've got a bare minimum squad. There's genuinely that will be the only possible change I think for that starting 11 could be Beto for Barry.
Yeah.
I don't see anything other than that, unless maybe Alcaraz is back. He was doubtful, but even then he'll be on the bench. So I see that being the squad, and to be honest, I can see three. I don't know, I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, I can see a
Mate, don't be saying that height. Like, you never know with
yeah.
football. It's a funny old game. Just when you think you're down, you could pull it off. Like Villa, like, you know, we've had such an amazing record at Villa Park that it's got to come crashing down at some point.
Yeah.
That's what my PTSD for being a Villa fan is kind of like, when's it going to start to go wrong? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can look at the league table and I have to rub my eyes and go, fuck, we're third. How are we third?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. So I'm just enjoying the ride as it goes. But obviously, like I say, at Villa Park, 4:30 on Sunday, we go into this game, should be full of confidence, mate. You know, like I say, with the form that we've got. And, you know, if we win it, we put the pressure on the teams above us again. And that's all we can do. We can only take one game at a time. But football's a funny old game, so we'll see what happens. But that leads us to the final bit, mate, which is just the score prediction. So we're just going to go first, though. You know, like I say, your form away from home has been slightly better. So what do you reckon? What are you going for?
Probably genuinely maybe 3-0. I can't see us getting a goal. That's the thing. I want to say 3-1, but I can't. It's going to be 2-0. Maybe because, to be fair, our defence, right? Okay, Mikalenko is poor, but he can defend a little bit. Patterson, not so much, but he's better going forward.
Yeah.
That's a strong word as well. But O'Brien's a solid centre-back, and Tarkowski can be, but he's been a little bit keen to being our main centre-back this season. So it kind of depends how Tarkowski turns up. If Tarkowski turns up, you might not get a goal because that defence partnership
it's
can
good.
be solid. Yeah. I mean, as you say, Pickford was almost he's rivaling Raya and Donnarumma for most clean sheets this season, and he was last season as well with Alisson and Ederson, I believe it was last season for City, was it? So the defence is strong. We do have a solid defence, but it's just whether we can hold it off for 90 minutes. I mean, look at the United game when we had 10 men from 15 minutes in. We held that 1-0 win. Do you know what I mean? So if we turn up, we might be able to get a draw. I can't see us getting 3 points because the only way we'll get a goal maybe off a set piece or like, as I say, what a good ball through from Garner into someone, maybe Barry. But Diblin's yet to get on the score sheet. As I say, he hasn't played much, so I can't be confident that he'd do anything. Grealish, maybe. Barry. So it's tough. It's a tough one.
Mate, it's a tale of two sides because I'm confident we'll score. I'm going 2-0. I'm going to say it's 2-0. I think we've got enough there. We've got, at the moment, apart from Watkins, who doesn't score many, right? But we've got goals throughout our team. Rodgers is a threat. Buendia is a threat. McGinn's a threat. Like, you know, Tillemans is a threat. Our midfield is dangerous. It really is. Like I say, it is slightly weakened without Kamara. He's the one player that I would say when you take him out of our team, it weakens us. It does. That midfield is not as strong. And your best foot, for me, like Pau Torres, as good as a defender he is, mate, and I've said this on every show this season, if you can get him with his back to like turning towards his own goal, he's got no pace at all, right? So if you can get dibbling on him and attacking him 1v1 and isolate him, then you've got a chance. But our midfield is usually so good at defending that, which is why we are where we are. But like I say, with Kate Kamara there, it might be slightly weaker. So that's probably the one thing you can target.
To be honest, mate, you've just reminded me then, right? This is how useless he is. I've completely forgot about him. We've got McNeil as well, actually, who will be fit. So he could possibly play where Diblin would be out on the right.
Yeah, okay.
But if he is playing where Diblin is, it's even better for you. So that's the thing. One of the lads said to me the other day, it's like he plays football in Timberland boots. That's what someone said to me the other day. It's like McNeil plays
Oh, mate.
football in
Look,
Timberland boots.
at
So
least you've got players coming back, right? Dewsbury Hall's
yeah,
come back from injury. You've got Ndoye coming back from AFCON. Like it could give you that push towards the end of the season. Like you say,
yeah,
with how close that table, as you mentioned at the start of the show, mate. 2 wins in this from where you are, and you're right
yeah.
back in it. You know,
That's it.
so
It's just been a tough period, but I mean, I bet talking to me has got you right up for this game on
yeah,
Sunday.
mate.
It's
I
got
feel
you right
confident.
up
I'm like,
for it.
Joe's giving me
Yeah,
confidence here. We're going to
yeah,
win.
literally right up for it.
You know, are you going to the game on Sunday? Or
No, I'm
no?
not going. I'm not going. I'm
No.
doing a little watch along thing for my stuff or something like
Nice
that.
one. Well,
I'm not
enjoy
too
that,
yet.
mate. Like, I
Yeah.
will be at the game on Sunday, people. I will be going live there. So come and say hi at Villa Park if you're around. Any Everton fans that see me, please feel free. Joe, if you just hang on, we'll have a little bit of a chat at the end just to kind of send you off. I'll get your socials. We'll put them in the description. So
Yeah.
if you do follow Joe on Finalysis and whatnot, go and check that out, by the way. Go and download it. If you're an Everton fan, sign up, like all of Joe's posts and get him, popular as a starting 11 and kind of share all his wisdom and scores. It's great fun. I don't know. On that last note, mate, final thoughts. Like, how are you feeling about Financials? Because I've seen some stuff online the last couple of days that's been a little bit brutal towards it.
I am slowly caring a little bit less because of the interaction on the
Yeah.
app. For me, I find no benefit of me doing kind of a report at the minute. Maybe we shouldn't say this, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, the idea in theory is great.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just kind of needs a bit of traction.
Mm.
I enjoy doing it. The idea in theory is great. It does work well. But from what I am also seeing, some of the fans in the starting 11 aren't actually fans that I would put in starting 11. I don't know if you agree with that.
Well,
or
I
not,
think
but
it's like I say. In theory, I'm enjoying doing it, and actually, the Villa people that there's been since it went live in January, there's been a big influx of people on the Villa page. So I've started to get a little bit of, I mean, not massive, but like I went from having one like and a single comment to having like 14, 15 likes and a couple of people commenting. So there's a little bit of dialogue now coming.
Yeah.
And actually, it's decent because it is just talking about football. It's not people coming to be abusive and have a go at you and all that kind of jazz. So it has massive potential. But there are starting 11 of the Villa ones that, like, I've done 475 match reports, mate, since it started, and we've got some of them who've done 60 odd. Do you know what I mean?
To be honest,
And
I've missed a few. I have missed some. I think I've missed the last one, or maybe even the one before that.
yeah,
But like now, like when it first started, I was trying to do it straight after the game, get it in, do it. But kind of doing it, and then you check the next day, and it's got one like. I checked the other day, and people are still getting one like and things like that. And I feel like that might just be an experience with Everton and the Everton fans
yeah,
on
yeah.
there. Maybe there's not many Everton fans on there to get interaction, but then I just feel like I was spending so much time doing it and not getting any kind of interaction back. So I kind of just do it and then use most of my thoughts for my own socials and things like that. Now, where I actually do get interaction, it's a great idea, great in theory. I am enjoying it, and being on Sky and things like that's amazing.
Oh, it's mega,
And
mite. That is Brucey bonus, right?
Yeah, the data you get from Finalysis is great. Like, you do get to see people's opinions, and if people do care about other, like, as you say, Twitter's so toxic. You can't have a proper conversation on Twitter or anything like that.
No.
If there was people on the Everton page, I'd enjoy it a lot more, but it just seems like people aren't really interacting for me.
Well, like, hopefully it'll just improve as it goes on. I think we have to remember it's early doors. We're only 6 months into the app, really. Like, it's the first season. Like,
it has so much potential.
Yeah, this
so
for me
much.
This season is all about staying on it because, it's a data building app, basically. They need it for the analysis, and if this season is for doing that, then so be it. And I imagine that if they get what they want out of it, then there'll be a big push for this next season in terms of advertising and all that, and people, because it's already, like I say, people are starting to talk about it now. Like, lots of people having opinions online about where they got these people from. They shouldn't be in the starting 11. How are they on Sky and all this kind of jazz? And then I find out from little bits of snippets of social media, mate, that a lot of these people went for the audition and didn't get in,
and didn't get him.
So
looking here, just for a little bit of information for you, what I'm talking about. So, 6 likes, 2 likes, 2 likes, 0 likes, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 2,
Yeah.
1, 1. No comments, no reactions.
Yeah.
Just people talking to themselves. So I don't fancy talking to myself, to be completely honest. That's just my thoughts. And to be honest, and I don't know. I mean, to be honest, mate, it's one of them. I don't really fancy sitting there spending my time talking now on Everton. But funnily enough, Sunderland. When we played Sunderland the other day, I was in the pub
Yeah.
and with one of the other lads off analysis, and there was a lad who had analysis in the pub that we were talking to. Who got it when it was live. So I
Yeah.
feel like it might just be Everton.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Everton thing, because what I am hearing and what I'm seeing is every other club is kind of starting
Yeah.
to get a
Like,
little bit of traction. Where it's just my personal experience of it. I
yeah,
really
well,
enjoy
mate,
the app. It
you
has
can only comment on
potential,
personal
but
experience because I agree with what you're saying to a certain degree. Like up until like I say, the launch officially in January, I had the similar to you. Since that launch, like I say, we've had there's definitely been an influx of Villa fans that have come on and have
yeah,
started commenting on it. So all of a sudden, like I say, you can see the potential in it. And if that was a bigger thing, you've got actually like proper fans who have been to the game and you're kind of having that live debate, which is great. And then you're looking at the player ratings and going, and it like you say, in theory, it's good. It's early doors, mate. So let's see,
yeah,
if they can, if Sky can push it and it can grow, I think we just got to keep with it, like, and at least people are talking about it, whether that be negative or positively. If people are talking about it, then that's a good thing, right? So, yeah.
definitely.
All right, mate. Well, look, thanks for coming on again, Joe. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, mate. We've gone on for an hour. So if you are still here after an hour, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'll put Joe's social in the description. So go and check him out if you're an Everton fan. And we'll see you at Villa Park on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. And as always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Till next time, people. Peace.